watching this game. Spawning in the top right corner, we have ZhuGeLiang, the red Zerg player. And in the bottom left, we have Tonho, the blue Protoss player. ZhuGeLiang from Finland, playing for Team Menace FE, Menace Finland. Maybe they want to instill fear in their opponents, just as the Vikings of old times did. Tonho scouting with the probe, straight after the pylon. Looks like this is going to be a Forge expansion. And ZhuGeLiang, unlike some other Protosses, he is not scouting with drone on this map, so he'll have to go with pool first, I imagine, since he does not know if this is a Forge expansion or a Gateway expansion, and going hatchery first without knowing could be suicidal. And there's the pool, which Tonho has seen, and afterwards just retreats the drone. Maybe he is... Nah, he's not going to be trying to cannon rush, but ZhuGeLiang does not know. He does not know if there's a Forge over here or not. So he's going to be chasing the probe, delaying the expansion from going down. As he does so... Did he actually produce that one more Old Lord? No, he has not. So he... Oh, nice hatchery block right there with the probe. And finally, the expansion is going up for ZhuGeLiang. Forge Nexus on the way for the Protoss player, and we'll be having a pylon and a gateway over here to block the entrance as well. It's going to be a little while before those speedlings get over there, however, as ZhuGeLiang first needs to build a queen. So 2 sets of lings. ZhuGeLiang now knows what he's up against. He knows the Forge is not yet down, and cannon will be going down a little bit later. Speedlings, or Zerglings, later on they will become speedlings, will probably not make it in time to try and pass through that wall before that cannon is done. So they're just looking for other probes, potential other cannon rushes behind the third base, stuff like that, and now they're going to go and check the watchtowers, and then one ling should probably stay over here. Maybe one ling will be sent to the third base to watch out for that quick third some of the Protosses have been so fond of. In the meantime, cybernetic score going down for the Protoss. A Zealot in production, which ZhuGeLiang does see. With 3 lings, I think it is entirely impossible to kill a Zealot even with perfect micro. Don't quote me on that one, but I think you need 4 lings with micro to kill a Zealot. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of tech choice Tonho is going to be going for, and it looks like it's going to be a Stargate. He does put it down at a location that is very easily scoutable with lings, but those lings will not be doing that for quite some time. With that Zealot out on the map, they're going to retreat. Third base up for ZhuGeLiang. Going to get an additional queen at his natural. Should be taking the gases right now. There we go. 2 gases only. Still needs to saturate the third base, so no needs to mine a whole lot of gas. And he's going to send his Overlord in to scout, and he's going to see the Stargate, but a little bit too late. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? It's going to be a Phoenix. So no Oracle openings are going to be happening here. Just a Phoenix. And ZhuGeLiang still sees only 1 Zealot, so no gateway pressure coming from the Protoss player. He knows that much. He's not checking the third base. This could be a quick third. There we go. There is the Overlord going to check on the third base. Will not see the third base. And the Phoenixes, unfortunately, are already revealed. So ZhuGeLiang now knows what kind of opening this is. +1 in the Forge is going up as well. A Stargate opening generally transitions very, very nicely into a third base and a robo facility. ZhuGeLiang might be trying to go ahead and shut that down quite heavily with roaches, to be quite honest. Twilight Council going up immediately, so... And a robo facility as well. No third base still. The Zealot does go in there anyways and checks if there are any lings, which there weren't, but ZhuGeLiang is smart, so he sends 2 more over there, and any drone that tries to build a building there will be killed. And 4 more gateways going up for Tonho. This is a little bit confusing to me. It looks like he only wants to get an observer from the robo facility, and otherwise just go with blink and +2. Now, ZhuGeLiang, he should know what is up. There is still no third base going up, and usually Protosses take the third between 8 and 9 minute mark, sometimes even quicker. And ZhuGeLiang does not see 5 phoenixes, he only sees 4. And I think actually no, he did not kill one of those. Oh, what the hell? Alright, so a War Prism charge, no +2, and more gates? That's really weird. And a Robo Support Bay to boot. Now this is going to be a very powerful 2-base all-in. That's one possibility. The second possibility is that this is complete and utter bullshit. Because, I mean, that's a whole lot of tech off of of 2 bases. We have +2 attack going up. We have charge. We have a robo facility with robo support base, so probably we'll be seeing Colossi. We have a Stargate. Granted, the Stargate has not produced anything in a little while, but is producing Void Rays right now. And this is oh, but this could be dangerous. See 3 sentries. Force field on the ramp will be coming. There we go, and you know what this means. There are no units right now inside the main base. A lot of drones is going to go down. Oh, here come a couple of roaches. They may try and snipe those sentries, but they can be loaded up into the warpers and thus saved. More Zealot warpers coming in. They have charge. Wow, 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 wow. Tonho. This is... Wow, I haven't seen this in such a long while. I mean, eventually this is going to be cleaned up. There are swarm hosts over here which the Zealots cannot detect. But at the price of all the drones in the main base, the lair is going to go down. Oh, ZhuGeLiang, you were completely not expecting this to happen at all. The lair goes down, and now we have Blink on the way. Still no third base for the Protoss player. Not even a hint of taking that one. And behind this, he's getting Colossi, he's getting Blink, he's getting extended thermal lances for the Colossus. And a follow-up attack is pretty much imminent. There's still 4 more sentries over here. No, that's not gonna happen. So a bad start here for ZhuGeLiang. Overall, 17 drones only have been killed. Now, this I would call an achievement, because considering the situation, lesser Zerg players would have lost the entire mineral line, I would guess. And ZhuGeLiang, he still has the infestation pit up and running. He's on 1-1 upgrades, so he can still produce more swarm hosts if he feels like it. And he still has the Roach Warren, so he can support those swarm hosts with roaches. So, he will take his time, very calmly get his lair up and running again, retake his main base. He is on 4 bases, he'll take those additional gases, and maybe he will play You know, I've seen Agaham play this a couple times. I've seen ZhuGeLiang play this a couple times as well. I'm not entirely sure this will be a turtling swarm host style. I think this is more likely going to be like swarm hosts and roaches. We'll see. The Protoss player in the meantime is getting stronger and stronger by the minute, however. +3 attack on the way. More Colossi into the mix. Big army marching across the map, and now it does have an observer, I think. Yeah, there's the observer. It's with the army, so... You know, the one way to engage this is trying to avoid the swarm hosts altogether. Another one is to try and force field the locusts off, and then engage with the Colossi and Blink Stalkers. Now those locusts, they cannot reach the third base just yet. So, you know, because the swarm hosts are too far away, so that third is safe. On top of that, the Zerg player has to engage this army to prevent it from attacking the mining bases of the Zerg player, so... Oh, wow. Oh, one Colossus almost went down, and I think Tonho will just try and... I think he's trying to keep tabs on where exactly the locusts are. And he's going to just try to play cat and mouse with the locusts and the swarm hosts. But here come the lings, just to just take care of one war prism. And this is the mass static defense of the fourth base of the Zerg player. Let's take a look here. We have Hive on the way. 2 upgrades, a Spire as well. We could see a transition into Broodlords, or maybe just try to go Swarmhost, Corruptor, and Spore Crawler, Spine Crawler, and Queens. There are Tempests on the way already, and a fourth base. That fourth base immediately scouted, however, and it could be taken down rather quickly with Zerglings, for example, or something. Vipers are being produced as well. Vipers will be instrumental. You can abduct a Colossus into a Locust swarm. That goes down pretty darn quickly, and then once you get rid of all the Colossi, it becomes a hell of a lot easier to deal with the ground army with what ZhuGeLiang has right now. Fifth base going up for Tonho as well. And ZhuGeLiang is trying to keep up in terms of numbers of bases with his opponent. Constantly, I mean, Tonho is doing a brilliant job of constantly engaging the army so that ZhuGeLiang never has even the slightest opportunity to attack his bases. Now the Vipers are coming in. Do they have enough energy for abducts? Yes, they have. One Colossus, bam, goes down. Second one, second Colossus. It could be second Colossus. No. ZhuGeLiang not going to be snagging that one. Would be a waste of energy at that point in time. Fifth base almost done. Should be taking this one as well, but lacks the creep spread to be able to do that comfortably. And once we have those Tempests out, the game is going to slow down quite considerably, because the Protoss player will be able to engage from a distance, out of the reach of the Vipers. And with limited anti-air, the Zerg player will not be able to shoot down those Tempests very effectively, unless he can extend the creep little by little, and moving these Spore Crawlers forward and then abducting the Tempests into or on top of the Spore Crawlers. Because, you know, ZhuGeLiang, he's maxed at this point. He does not want to produce any units. He can't, in fact, he can't produce any units. Ooh, mothership on the way. Mothership on the way. We are going to see cloaked units, guys. Alright. The Blinkstalker contingent is trying to reach the 5th base in the top left corner. Not going to be having a good time with it. As the Locusts, the Queens, and the Zerglings do chase them away. They could kill these spores, however. They're completely unprotected for the most part right now. And this is a huge boon, because later on it will be a lot easier for Tonho to engage with the Tempest and push the Zerg back. So far he is doing a great job. There we go. Snipes all the spore crawlers and gets away. And ZhuGeLiang would do well to replace those spore crawlers ASAP if he wants to have any chance of breaking his half of the map and reach the Protoss bases finally. 20 drones have been killed this game so far, and almost 0 probes. Now this base, this one, is in reach of the Locusts. And this is where things start to get a little bit dangerous for the Protoss player. This is where he starts to get pressured by the time. Because of the proximity of the swarm hosts, he has to act faster. He has to find a way how to kill this army quickly, because his resources are running out. The main is dry. The natural will be dry shortly after, and he'll be relegated to 1 mining base if that happens. But how do you keep these bases alive with so many Locusts so close? I think one more wave and this Nexus is going to fall. Maybe even this one could do it. Yep, narrowly does. The Nexus is gone. The resources in the banks of both these guys are starting to skyrocket, however. I wonder... I mean, I'm not seeing... Do we still have that War Prism on the field? No, we don't. But I'm wondering... War Prism attacks... you know, drops, Zealot drops, whatever, trying to limit the economy of your opponent, kill his infrastructure, and whatever. I mean, you can bypass the entire Swarm Host army that way, and we have only 9 Zerglings on the ground to defend the bases, so the War Prism should be a good option for the Protoss player to use in order to slow down the Zerg. Not gonna happen so far. And this is going to lag my computer quite a bit. But it's brilliant. Oh, the Mothership Core gets abducted and gets targeted down by the Corruptors immediately. Again, the Protoss army needs to kite back. Quite a lot of Tempests, I'd say. That's a little bit of an overkill, in my opinion. You don't need this many Tempests. There are 5 more in production. I really don't think you needed this many Tempests to defeat this composition. Locusts, don't shoot up. Hello. I mean, against Corruptors, wouldn't Void Rays have been better? I wonder. But it's Tonho's game to win or lose. So, not going to be too harsh and too judgmental. Now, it is true that this number of Tempests will have an easier time dealing with the Corruptors. That much is true. ZhuGeLiang will have to switch up his army composition. He is starting to add on Infestors right now. Those are expensive units. He did have quite a bit of a gas bank going for him. There we go. More abducts over the spores and the Corruptors. And slowly but surely, the Protoss army is going to be destroying the spores because Tempests outrange spore crawlers. The problem for Tonho is that he cannot establish any more bases, at least not for the time being. This one and this one are certainly out of the question, at least with those Locusts over there. So this is the entire army that he'll have. And we are currently looking at 20, soon to be 25 Tempests, trying to blast through endless waves of locusts and spore crawlers. We have, we have 2 observers, maybe even more, 4 observers, just to be sure we don't miss anything with this army. Nice. And you know, infestors might be the key that ZhuGeLiang needs to win this game, because these Tempests are quite clumped up. If you can get the observers, that might be enough for the time being. That might give him a little bit of a break. Wow, 4 more Tempests. That's going to be 20 friggin' 8 Tempests out on a single map during one game. At least Tonho can now establish that next base at the gold. And wow, the Corruptors actually... Whoa. Any of you guys imagine seeing 28 fucking Tempests in a game when this started? Because I certainly haven't. And 1 or 2 good fungals could be the death of this fleet here. ZhuGeLiang waiting for the most opportune moment, building 11 more Corruptors. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. The Corruptors are almost ready to be hatched, but he's losing the Infestors. He is No Infestors for you. And no fungals. That was a little bit unnecessary, wasn't it? No abducts, no more abducts available for the Vipers. And this base is going down. Huge volleys. Huge volleys of kinetic overdrive going off those Tempests, killing everything. And ZhuGeLiang knows that he now has to face the Protoss flotilla. And will he be successful? This is so many Corruptors! Where the hell? 41 Corruptors! They're taking those Tempests down! Does Tonho have anything to reinforce with right now? Well, Zealots, maybe he's got 3,500 minerals in the bank. He just lost... Oh my goodness, 32,000 resources lost this game on the side of the Protoss. And, well, there's nothing on the ground for ZhuGeLiang apart from those locusts. Those are painfully slow. But I think Tonho should have been doing this straight from the middle of the game, harassing the Zerg player with Warp Prisms, with Rumbais, anything. Right now, he's going to have a tough time replenishing the army, whatever tech path he chooses to go with. He's still trying to go with Protoss air weapons level 3 that just now finished. All that remains for him to do is the shields and the armor upgrades, and he'll have all the upgrades in the game. The Zerg is not too far behind. In fact, he is ahead, having level 3 on all of his upgrades everywhere across the board, except melee upgrades for the Zerglings. And in fact, do we have adrenal glands? Yes, we have. And ZhuGeLiang, for some reason, is all out of money. Did he just dump everything into swarm hosts again? Oh my goodness. Alright, these Corruptors, as good as they were in that fight, 45 Corruptors, that's not going to do jack shit on the ground. So, I mean, why not go Greater Spire, right? Why not go Greater Spire and morph those into Broodlords, or at least some of them? Oh, nice positioning there for the Roaches. And one more thing, look at the creep spread. ZhuGeLiang, he knows about every bit of movement out on the map. Nothing can take him by surprise. I think slowly but surely he should be getting the advantage in this game. Not that he didn't have it before, but Tonho is Well, yeah, you may get a cancel on this base, so that's good. Immediately the swarm hosts are making their way over. I think at this time, you know, having a couple of or one group of speedlings out on the map just to deal with these Zealot Rambais might be fine. And by the way, I love when buildings are creeped up like this. It's so nice. So let's take a look at the battlefield, because right now it's not a game of tech, not a game of upgrades. It's a game of decisions. You know, as I was saying, get a greater spire and just go broodlords is what I would do, because it doesn't look from what ZhuGeLiang has seen. It doesn't look like the Protoss player wants to be rebuilding that giant fleet of Tempests anytime soon. So, and with just Blink Stalkers, you're not going to fare too well against Broodlords and Locusts. So why not do it? Instead, ZhuGeLiang is adamant about winning the game by slow pushing forward with Skullcrawlers and Locusts. We have Storm on the field, and this is just, oh my god, this is just too many damn High Templars. 14. Oh. Can you count how much gas that is? I mean, yeah, they will be able to storm the shit out of every Locust group they come across, but energy is, you know, that it replenishes painfully slowly. I just don't know anymore. I mean, ZhuGeLiang, his army supply is 156. Oh my god, these roaches are still alive? Wow. His army supply is at 160 versus 58 of the Protoss. I cannot for the life of me understand why the hell does not ZhuGeLiang finish off his opponent already. I mean, he... Yeah, maybe that's because he's got a bunch of useless corruptors in the air. That could be it. How many swarm hosts are we have here? 18. What? He could do it with the swarm hosts. I don't think Tonho has much on the grounds to deal with that. ZhuGeLiang is, huh. Come on, dude. Greater Spire, do it! Otherwise, this game is just going to go on for 40 more minutes. I'm not kidding. It could. Or, you know, kill off the Corruptors, make a Mutalisk switch. Something! Anything's better than this. I mean, we have forward pylons being placed on the map. And more run-bys. Constantly denying the space. That's very nice from Tonho, but I just don't know. Oh wow. Oh wow, those spine crawlers are not having the best time of their life right now. Nice transfusions, and eventually the Zealots are going to die there. And I mean, if this is the entire ground army of the Protoss, minus the Zealot warpins, of course, then it should be no problem for ZhuGeLiang to kill it. I think he wants to firmly secure this base over here, because I say firmly because he's building 3 more spine crawlers over there, and he'll probably be building 4 or 5 or 7 more over here, and then he'll decide to attack. And Nexus goes down, and right now, actually, Tonho should have near to 0 mining going for him. 21 drones versus 18 probes. little bit of a battle over here. Not really going in the Protoss favor. But ZhuGeLiang is losing a couple of units here. Queens for the most part, and locusts, which are free. Wow, so many storms for almost nothing, and now he's going to lose the Templars. Well, he is kind of storming the. Wow, wow. Do you have any more storms in there, bro? All right, and this should be it. I mean, Protoss has just lost 2 bases. Yes. GG, well played. 1-0, ZhuGeLiang. Who? Now, I am not happy ZhuGeLiang won. I am happy because that game did not go on for another 40 minutes or so. Or 80 minutes. Or 120 minutes. I mean, I have seen this happen. I have experienced it myself. Casting a 2-hour-long game is not fun. It's not fun, okay? So let's go into game number 2. Hopefully. Soon-ish. And before we do that, let's take a minute and ask ZhuGeLiang what does it think of the inference of this match. And it thinks the chances are very, very even, with ZhuGeLiang having only 16. Huh, wow. It's literally even. 49.84% in favor of Tonho and 50.16% in favor of ZhuGeLiang. That, I have not seen a closer inference in my life. Since ZhuGeLiang was founded. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an invite into the second game. It's going to be played on Catalina. This was Tonho's map choice. I am eager to see how this shapes up. Other Rags Gone Banned. Hello. That's a very weird name for a Twitch account anyways. Alrighty. Let's jump into game number 2. Game number 2 between Tonho and ZhuGeLiang, with Tonho, the red Protoss player, spawning in the top location on Catalina. His opponent, ZhuGeLiang, playing for Menace Team FI, playing Blue Zerg on the left side, and this is going to be a Forge expansion again from Tonho, who is scouting in the wrong direction, but he doesn't know that yet. ZhuGeLiang seems to have a lucky hand when it comes to scouting, as he sends his Overlord counterclockwise first. Clockwise first, and he'll be able to find his opponent quickly that way. And now Tonho knows where his opponent is. Is this going to be a hatch first? Probably not, but you never know. Yep, pool first. We have the drone behind there already. And we could see a Nexus first with this. And looks like Tonho will be trying to bait out a reaction out of ZhuGeLiang once more, as he did try to do in game number 1. It did not work that time around, and ZhuGeLiang, look, he is adapting to his opponent. He sends out 2 drones, bam, places down the hatchery, and now he doesn't even care about that probe. The forge is not down even yet. Now it's coming down, so no cannon rushes, and with the pool first opening, ZhuGeLiang will have enough ZhuGelings out by the time first cannons could have been laid down that he does not have to worry about any such thing. Tonho doesn't know about the third base, but he should suspect it's there because he did see the drone moving away from the natural expansion into the way of the third. So this is a lot smaller map than Overgrowth in terms of how close the bases are to one another, and somehow this ZhuGeLing missed the probe entirely. The probe can safely back away. Always nice to have a probe out on the map, and for some reason this probe is just... ZhuGeLiang is letting it live. Also, this is a little bit risky by ZhuGeLiang, just sending the queen from one base to another off creep, but only slightly risky. I mean, it could get potentially picked off by a Zealot, a probe, in a combined attack, but a little bit too early for that. But otherwise, it would have been really risky to do so. So the cybernetic score is done, and now here is where things start to be very interesting. We have a Stalker being chrono boosted out. So we could see pressure coming out of Tonho, or is this just to deny scouting? Already the Stalker is positioning itself where... oh, he does see that Overlord, and he's going to hunt for it right now. Second one is coming inside the main base of Tonho from the west, however, and there's also a link that can check both the third base location and, if it wanted to, is there a +1 going down in the forge or not. Seeing this robotic facility, that's the biggest tell of all. ZhuGeLiang now should know, together with the lack of the third base, that there's probably an immortal-based all-in coming his way. And I think this is going to be just such a thing. Immortals, sentries, a lot of gateways being added later on. Let's see on how many drones, probes, Tonho stops. He has taken the... 4 probes in this simulator. Not good. When you're executing an all-in or trying to execute one, you need to be very crisp with the execution. And such a mistake can cause you gateway timings. I mean, you can lose as much as 200 minerals like this if you're not careful, and then instead of 6 gateways that you wanted to throw down initially as you move out, you only throw down 5, giving you 1 less gateway worth of production. Looks like this is not going to be an immortal all-in, because we have a robo facility going down as well. It looks like the Magic Jordan, the 2-2-2 principle, where you get the +1, you get 2 immortals, then you get 2 colossi without range, and as you're leaving the base you get range upgrade, and you start fighting. You add on 7 additional gates, or 6 additional gates, bringing you to a 7-gate all-in, supported by those 2 colossi and 2 immortals. And that's a very versatile army that can deal with a variety of defensive tactics that the Zerg players can employ. I haven't seen this for the longest of times, however. Looks like here is the precursor to that attack. It's going to be just the 2 immortals. Twilight Council going down. Tonho seems to have a very unique playstyle, as he just seems to stay on two bases almost forever, and get every single piece of tech that he can. Oh, that was a misclick. Wow, he wanted to load up a sentry, no doubt. Instead, he loaded up a stalker. And again, ZhuGeLiang knows that there's no third base going down, and this time he is going Ling Hydra. And this might even work, were it not for the Colossi. It all depends on the timing. If you can hit the Protoss as he's trying to take the third base before he has 2 Colossi on the field, that's likely to be the time where he neither has the range upgrade for the Colossus. So, with good army positioning, you can, in the very least, kill the third base or severely damage it. If you're lucky, you can pick a Colossus and kill it. Looks like we have a quick infestation pit once more. No +2 attacks for the Hydralisks so far. But we do have grooved spines on the way, which is a defensive upgrade. And not an offensive one. ZhuGeLiang, wow, this guy has the eye of the hawk. He saw the pylon being placed down and he immediately reacted to it. It looks like Tonho, he really wants to start pushing. He's placing down pylons all across the map. But look at this, ZhuGeLiang. Too bad that Ling wasn't on attack move. Oh, but it's on patrol, so it should register that pylon and try and kill it. Looks like Tonho really wants to push with this, but the army supply is not speaking into his favor. It's 71 for the Protoss and 131 for the Zerg. We're talking 20 Hydralisks, 29 Roaches on the field, and Rising versus 3 Colossi. And just not enough Stalkers. 1 Warping could change that, however, as we have 8 gateways supporting this. But not when you lose a War Prism like this. ZhuGeLiang, please. Would you be so kind as to kill the War Prism? Thank you! And now the reinforcement capabilities of the Protoss are severely limited. Nice force fields on the left flank, but the right side of the Protoss army completely died. The Roaches are closing in on the Colossi, not killing them off, however. The reinforcing pylons are still in place, and a couple of warpins are happening here and there. Third base, oh my goodness, 20 drones just died. That was brutal. And is ZhuGeLiang going to have enough to stop this? Blinding Cloud on the ramp, forcing the army back, but now he cannot move down the ramp himself because that's a choke point, and you don't move through choke points versus Colossi. And here we go again. The Roaches are still alive, kind of. ZhuGeLiang is running out of steam, however, and the Protoss is rolling over him. GG. He cannot be happy about that game. I mean, he had all the information he needed, and I really think he could have won that game. I don't know. But GG nonetheless. So, let's go into game number 3, which is going to be played on merry-go-round. A very similar map to Catalina in the respect of the placement of the bases. Hey, welcome Boom 10125 to the stream chat. Make yourself comfortable, and hopefully you will feel right at home. Game number 3. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, of the Go4SC2 number 418. This is the third game of the first semi-final. ZhuGeLiang, the red Zerg, spawning in the top right position on merry-go-round, and his opponent Tonho, the Brazilian Protoss player, in the blue colors, occupying the left side of the map. This game is going to decide who moves on to the finals, where they will face either Prime Lots or Revolution, who are fighting their way into the finals right now. Revolution having defeated my Insanity's BelleNOiR in a very nice ZVZ series, and Tamika's unfortunately losing to Prime Lot in the quarterfinals. Prime Lot advancing on. Once more, as I repeat myself, not a lot is known about Tonho. In the first game he showed a prolonged 2-base phase, with a lot of tech paths being opened up and not really being made use of. And the first game was a pretty long one on Overgrowth, where ZhuGeLiang for some reason decided to go swarm hosts, with no ground army for support, just swarm hosts and static defense. In the second game, once again, Tonho showed us a longer 2-base phase with a delayed attack, sort of an all-in, I would label it, with +2 attack, some Colossi, some Immortals, Sentries, and a lot of Blink Stalkers. Excuse me, Stalkers, not even Blink Stalkers. And ZhuGeLiang unfortunately did not have enough, despite being on 3-base economy for a long time, having Hive Tech, having Vipers out, but wasn't able to quite defeat the army. And now Tonho is changing things up. He did open with a Forge Expand every single time, and ZhuGeLiang, of course, knows this. So does his opponent, and this time around Tonho just goes gateway opening. Now ZhuGeLiang, he did not take his gases because he likes to go 3 hatches very, very quickly. And now that he knows it's a gateway opener, oh, but somehow he's gotten these lings inside. He'll have to get away though, because the Mothership Core is on the way, and that will be able to defend both the front and the main. Now ZhuGeLiang has to think about things such as gateway all-ins, gateway timings, which come a lot sooner than the Immortal Sentry all-in or the 2-base delayed kind of all-in that Tonho did in the previous games. Massive gateway timings come at around 7-minute mark, where the gateway tech finishes if you keep on chrono boosting it. 2 additional gates going down at the front. We have a probe out on the map as well. It's going to try and make a pylon. Tonho knows exactly where the 3rd base is, so if he makes a pylon over here, he can warp on the low ground and then just waltz the Zealots over to the third base and kill that. Nice force field on the ramp, preventing the Zerglings to get inside the main base. Both for scouting purposes, just to be annoying. Of course, the scout is being provided by the Overlord. The Lings do make it out of there alive. The pylon is going up, 6 additional gates. I don't think ZhuGeLiang saw this. Oh, he did. Wow, he did. And thus he is building 12 Lings, rallying everything towards the third base. Does he know where the pylon is? No, he doesn't, but he's going to know very... No! Oh, he sees it. He sees it. He saw it. He has to bring that... Oh, the first warp-in already happened. Oh, that was a close one. If he were to bring down that pylon before that warp-in happened, he would have defended. Because there are no other pylons out on the map. But the first warp-in happened already. And if a second happens, then ZhuGeLiang is going to be in quite some trouble. But he's got roaches coming out, so as long as that first warp-in or second warp-in are stalkers, he should be fine. And he's in fact taking out the first set of units that have been warped in before, and those are just Zealots. And I think he can go back to droning. Yes, 8 more drones being produced. Now Tonho, he kind of realized that, well, I will not be able to hold on to that pylon, so I'm not going to keep on warping over there. Instead, he just started his immortal production. And he has 7 gates. And, I don't know. I mean, ZhuGeLiang is pretty aggressive this time around. This is a lot of sentries. Oh, but the cybernetic score is going to go down, which means no more sentries for you. And a very bad set of force fields as well. There is 1 immortal so far on the field. ZhuGeLiang is probably going to try and get at it. And Tonho will not allow him to. And ZhuGeLiang, you know, he's losing units here right now, and the question is, how much worth can he get out of those units? Only 2 sentries that he killed, 3 probes. Well, that's not a whole lot. He did get the cybernetic score, which Tonho would be wise to start rebuilding, otherwise he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. There we go, cybernetic score being rebuilt. He's actually going for an attack. Army supplies 34 to 29, and he's not catching ZhuGeLiang in the middle of droning. In fact, ZhuGeLiang is just now producing 30 Zerglings, so, and adding on a Hydralisk Den, which is absolutely perfect versus Immortals and Sentries. And again, there's the Robotics Bay by Tonho. So again, he's kind of doing the get everything build. This is not going to work. Of course, it is going to bait out a lot of force fields, which I have to say, these are not the best force fields I've seen in a while. I would call them decent, almost. They were decent, but they were far from perfect. And here come the Hydralisks, so the Lings. ZhuGeLiang, well, I don't think he's going to win this fight, to be quite honest. There is too many damn Zealots on the field. Just not enough Hydralisks. Even the drones have to fight. Is he going to be able to push this back for the time being? It looks like he is. The force fields are almost gone. The Zealots are being driven back. Tonho decided to save all the Immortals, and he says, you know what? I have my Immortals. Oh, bye-bye. Going to hold on to those for now. ZhuGeLiang has... Oh, I mean, he has to recall now, yeah. Because otherwise those Hydras would have killed that Mothership Core. But with that recall, you know, ZhuGeLiang knows that if Tonho attacks soon, then he cannot recall, he cannot time warp. It's going to take some time before the Mothership Core regenerates enough energy for those spells. So he knows that no such things such as attack, kill the hatchery, recall away. None of that will be happening. So he'll have a better chance of killing the army of the Protoss. There's the scouts. Again, we have the Twilight Council. Looks like Tonho is a big fan of just 2 base all-inning as a Protoss. All game long, mind you. I mean, apart from game 1, where ZhuGeLiang went swarm hosts, I have not seen Tonho take a 3rd base. Not even intending to do so. This Ling is on guard duty over here, as is this one, but they're gonna have quite a long, quite a long shift, because they're not gonna see the 3rd base going down anytime soon, if ever. So what do we have here? 2 Colossi, 3 Immortals, a lot of Zealots, a lot of Force Fields, and a couple of Stokers. ZhuGeLiang hopefully will not make the same mistake he did last time. And he could try and surround this army. He needs to surround this army. He cannot engage it head on. He needs to go from all angles. There are no Corruptors in this game. There are no Vipers this time around. Blink is almost done, but no +2. We had +2 in the previous game, if I remember correctly. Good Force Fields, keeping the army at bay. 1 good abduct, 2nd good abduct. So we do have Vipers in this game after all. And now it's the Immortals and Stalkers that are remaining on the ground, and ZhuGeLiang is trying to surround the army. Is he going to be successful? Nice micro there, picking up the Immortal and saving its lives, but the army supply for ZhuGeLiang has dropped to 45. He is building 3 more Hydras, and well, doesn't have larva to build more units, even though he does have the resources. A macro hatch would be of considerable help right now, but unfortunately ZhuGeLiang did not invest in that. Those Hydras, they are taking their sweet time to pop out of those eggs. 1 more blinding cloud, but that's more to buy time than to get any tangible battle advantage. And now ZhuGeLiang, well, I don't know, he's lost his 3rd base. He's on 2 bases. He's spending all his larvae as fast as he can, but 11 Hydras, are they going to do it versus Blink Stalkers with Immortals and Zealots, backed up by 9 gateway reinforcement capabilities of the Protoss army off of 2 base economy? I really don't know. ZhuGeLiang is probably going down this time, and he will not be happy. Pulls all the drones from the natural base and tries to target fire down everything he can with the Hydras, but there's the aggressive Blink forward, and this is how the Zerg hopes die, ladies and gentlemen. ZhuGeLiang playing this out until the bitter end, but no, there it is, GG, as Tonho moves into the finals. Man, that's a damn strong push. Well, I can't say I am a fan of... Oh man, I can't say I am a fan of those builds that Tonho's been using, those series, but they are strong and they are effective. So, you know, it's all part of the game. I'm sure you guys meet those builds on the ladder as well, so... Huh. I think we'll be going into the finals pretty soon, and the finals should be Revolution, who defeated Primelots 2-0, so it should be Revolution versus Tonho. Right, so last series of today coming up. Revolution versus Tonho. Looks like Revolution wants to be the one who stops this guy. And if he's been watching the games, you know, at least after he defeated, because you know his series ended in 2-0, so that was over far quicker than the series I casted just now. So he could have caught the third game on stream if he was watching. So he could have gleaned some valuable information from that, and that could be helpful to him in the upcoming battle. But nevertheless, this is going to be the last series today. It's going to be a best of 3, not a best of 5. And it's going to be a PVZ as well. Yeah, other Rex got banned, says the guy got protossed. Normally I would argue against that, but this time around I'm just going to say, yeah, he probably did. He probably did. So, first game, Overgrowth. Looks like the series are starting the same way the previous one did. Okay, Tonho asked a favor of me, so, you know, if you want to follow this guy on Facebook, he has a Facebook page. So if you can go to facebook.com/TonhoSC2, you're probably going to come across a page that belongs to this guy. So, let's get the party started. Go4SC2 number 418. These are the finals. Best of 3 series between Revolution from Team Root Gaming, playing as the pink Zerg player, and Tonho from Brazil, currently teamless. Actually, not a whole lot is known about the guy, so not much else I can tell. Spawning as the red Protoss in the top on Overgrowth, and once again, as in the series before against ZhuGeLiang, Tonho is going for the Forge expansion, and Revolution we'll have to see. And Revolution going with the pool first. And at the same time blocking the expansion of Tonho. So Revolution is one of those guys that actually scouts on 2-player maps with the drone, which is quite good. Because then what you can do, the drone, especially on overgrowth, the drone arrives at the natural just as your drone is about to leave your base to build the 15 hatch. If you see a pylon on the low ground, you immediately take that drone and send it back here to build the spawning pool, and you're pretty much absolutely safe. So this is what Revolution did. Tonho finally getting rid of that drone, putting down the Nexus, and then a Forge, and also Revolution putting down his expansion. So we have a slower start to the game, and Revolution getting only one set of links, so being a little bit more greedy than ZhuGeLiang was, because he built 2 sets of links every single time. And Revolution is just going to be content with 2 links. Scouts out the 3rd location for any potential cannon rushes, and then starts to work on the rocks ASAP. Go! Go! Break them down! Break them down! Only 1,874 hit points to go. Only 1,860 hit points to go. Only 1,850 hit points to go. Only 1,830 hit points to go. Oh, okay, it's going too fast for me, but yeah, it's going to take quite a long time. Meanwhile, cybernetic score going down. No +1 being researched in the Forge just yet. So no quick gateway timings probably will be coming out of Tonho in the foreseeable future. And considering that he's pretty much played a very similar playstyle the entire time I've casted him, I think he's going to do just that once more. There's the quick Stargate once again being built at the same spot he built it last time. And I think Revolution is just going to scout it very quickly. All he has to do is move the Overlord a little bit to the right, and he also sees the gas being taken at 6 minutes, so the likelihood of this being a big, fast gateway all-in is very small at this point. Because you don't take gases that quickly if you want to do that. You would be lacking the mineral income from the natural, and you would not be able to do the all-in properly. Maybe a pressure, it could be a pressure, light pressure, but not anything major. And now the Stargate is revealed with the Scouting Overlord, so spores are going to be going down. There we go, Revolution playing this exactly by the book, having all his bases covered. And there's the first Phoenix, kills an Overlord, so that's a nice pickup. No third base going down, however. And once again, Tonho is probably going to be playing a prolonged 2-base phase. I wonder how many Phoenixes will he get. And again, we have a Robo and a Twilight going down at the same time. Now, ordinarily, I would not have anything against this if the gateway was actually producing units all the time. And then, for example, why not take a third base? I mean, you can defend a third base with like 2 Oracles, couple of Phoenixes, and a couple of gateway units. It is possible. A lot of Protosses have been playing like that a couple months back. And then you'll have a strong economy to go up against your opponent. But so far, Revolution has not lost a single drone. He has lost a couple of Overlords, but that's not anything too major. And he is sitting on a nice 55 drone economy. He's getting roach upgrades, 6 overlords, so probably the next that will follow is will be a huge round of roaches. He does have quite enough of minerals and gas. There we go, 10 roaches in production. Bam, the gas is gone, and the rest has been put into drones. A macro hatch being built as well, so no quick 4th base will be going up for Revolution, and he can try and push through the frontier, I think. Because why else would you build so many roaches? And he's continuing to build so many roaches. Or this could have another reason, and that could be just to take down those rocks a little bit quicker to take the 4th base at the gold. That is also a possibility. 6 more overlords. Now I think it's going to be roaches all the way through. Before the Protoss player is too strong, before the army is too big, I think he's going to try and break the Protoss. And here is the War Prism drop. And will this catch Revolution off guard the same way it did catch ZhuGeLiang off guard? I think it will. But this time around, you know, if Revolution attacks, then Tonho will be forced to warp him back home. And he did see the army, multiple cannons going down, and additional pylon as well to secure the ramp, or the entrance rather. But here comes the War Prism. Tonho very, very busy defending his expansion. Here comes the Colossus. The roaches are still moving forward. Revolution still reinforcing, not even caring about the mayhem that is about to unleash back home. Only now is it that he pulls back after having killed a... What has he killed exactly? A zealot and a couple of buildings, and he's about to lose his... Oh, this is smart! He's not gonna lose a damn thing, ladies and gentlemen! He's got Burrow! Damn! Oh, this guy is smart. Oh my god, this guy is smart. He's just going to burrow the units, and yep, he's not gonna lose a damn thing. And instead is going to pick off the nexus of his opponent. Wow, that was the best counter I have seen ever to a War Prism Sentry drop with 8 gates Zealot Warpins. It's like seriously very nicely done. And now he can just comfortably pull back. Well, he did lose the 3rd base. I missed that. I apologize. But I still think Revolution is in a way better shape than his opponent. His army size is like doubling that of the Protoss. Without the Stargate, Tonho cannot build Void Rays, which is the only unit that Revolution would not have direct reach to. Without the Spire, at least, or without a lot of Queens, you can't kill the Void Rays, and the Void Rays would be able to kill all the roaches eventually, that is. And he's not going to be caught off guard by the same move twice, neither. He's just that smart. And he's just going to try and see what he can make happen with those roaches. If he can just keep this natural base from being operational for a decent amount of time, it's going to be enough. And he's getting Tunneling Claws as well, he's getting the Spire, a couple of Corruptors and more Roaches, and he should have the game in the bag. The War Prism still trying to find an opening, but not having much luck so far. +1 attack only. Nothing else going on with the Evolution Chamber. Revolution slowly rebuilding his economy and taking another base as well. And he is still using this small, quote-unquote, small group of roaches to cause havoc. Nice set of force fields there, but I think this was almost all force fields. No, wow. That's a lot of sentries. And most of the roaches are dead. 59 roaches died this game already. 2 immortals in production. I wouldn't mind a Mutalisk switch right now, mind you. Instead, it's going to be the Corruptors. Mutalisks may have been nice, considering that Revolution killed the Stargate of his opponent. But now, Tonho is moving forward, and, you know, this is not such a wimpy army after all. This is a pretty big one. Army supply is suddenly very, very even. Has Revolution made the mistake of engaging too early? Did he exchange or trade units too soon? He's trying to go after the class. I gets one, but there's still a lot of force fields. You have tunneling claws. Tunneling claws, man. You did research those. There we go. Pulls back a couple of roaches from beyond the force fields, but both of the class are now dead. All he has to do now is deal with the immortals, which there are 3 of. A little bit of a mismicro with the stalkers. And again, the 3rd base is being evacuated. Nice set of force fields, but the tunneling claws solve that problem. 3rd going down for the Zerg. And at this point, Revolution is in a state of panic, just tries to build as many roaches as possible. The panic R button, we call it. And, well, it's just trying to bait out more and more force fields, but there are so many sentries. I don't think the Protoss player is ever going to run out of those. And, oh. Hasn't been a warping for quite a while, so Revolution is actually pushing this back with the help of drones. Needs to kill